What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills, your #1 source for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland roller coaster content. In this video, I will be reviewing Phoenix at Knoebels Amusement Resort. In 1947, Playland Park in San Antonio, Texas opened Rocket, which was a Philadelphia toboggan's coaster. It has a length of 3,200 feet, a height of 78 feet, a drop of 72 feet, and a speed of 45 miles per hour. This ride closed in 1980, and then in 1985, Knoebels Amusement Resort bought it and had it shipped up to their park. It was put together, I believe, by Custom Coasters International, so I know some of the founders of GCI helped put it together and stuff. But yeah, so of course it's the same stats. But yeah, they removed it from Playland Park and they took it up to Knoebels. Phoenix starts out with you pulling out of the station and then turning right into a tunnel. This tunnel, within the tunnel, you turn right, and then when you come out of the tunnel, right immediately you start ascending the chain lift hill. Once you get to the top of the chain lift hill, then you drop, and then you come up into a high turnaround, then you turn around, and then you drop off of the high turnaround. After you come down that high turnaround, then you go through an airtime hill, then another airtime hill, then you come up through another high turnaround. Once you go down that high turnaround, this is when the ride gets interesting. You go up a double up, which is basically one airtime hill, and then another airtime hill, which is higher up. And then you go through a double down, which is basically one airtime hill and then an airtime hill that is lower. So after you go through that double down and that double up, or the double down and then the double up, then you go through a low turnaround, and then you come through 4 consecutive airtime hills. So airtime hill, after airtime hill, after airtime hill, after airtime hill. So there are obviously a lot of airtime hills on this ride because it's an airtime focused ride. It's not supposed to be like a twister ride or like a, positive G ride. It's supposed to be airtime hill after airtime hill or airtime after airtime. So it's trying to do airtime, and that's what it does best. So that's good. When a ride is trying to do something, but that's not necessarily what the ride does best, then, is it a good ride? Who knows? But it's a fairly long layout. Obviously, saying the layout, it doesn't sound that long, but when you're riding it, especially with the tunnel, it's a long tunnel. It's fairly long when you are actually riding it and you're not just talking about the layout. So, for my opinions for this ride, the first ride I had on it, I was trying to give myself airtime, because there's so much room. Like before the airtime hill, I would almost go up out of my seat, purposely, so I would get airtime. I was purposely trying to get airtime. The second ride I got on this, go watch my previous vlog at Knoebels, my second ride on it. It was a lot better because I wasn't trying to give myself airtime. I was just letting the ride do its thing through the airtime hills. That ride will give me airtime, not myself give me airtime. So that's a good tip for any of you who are, wanting to know how to ride, especially because how much room is in between you and the lap bar. Because, it's a bit deceiving, you want to get up. But honestly, I'd rather it be a little tighter because then, it's, like I said earlier, it's almost like you're giving yourself airtime, and that's not really that fun. Just the ride airtime is a lot more fun than you giving yourself airtime. You definitely can get standing airtime. I believe I did. I don't think on this ride, but I feel like I did the first ride or something. I'm not sure, but you definitely can get standing airtime on this ride. But for my final score, I've been, not giving that to you, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And the reason I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 is just because my second ride was a lot better. If you asked me after my first ride, I'd probably say a 7 or maybe even a 6 out of 10. I still thought it was an enjoyable ride. I just said it's not as good as people said, But after the second ride, it was definitely a lot better, so I will be giving it a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, so I'm not going to be giving it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is reserved for those rides that are, like, perfect, which there might be a few rides that get 10 out of 10 in this month of reviews. But overall, Phoenix is a fun ride, and I definitely recommend getting on it, and definitely recommend getting on it twice, preferably at different, like, days, different trips or whatever, before you come to a final conclusion, because this is definitely one of those rides that, I mean, any ride, really, like, you shouldn't judge a ride by one ride on it. I have done that, but usually you shouldn't. So yeah, this is overall a fun ride, and I definitely don't think it's overrated. Some people might say it's overrated. I think it's fairly rated. I don't think it's underrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's fairly rated because I really enjoy this ride, and I mean, part of the reason why a lot of people might say it's really good is just the park it's at, because Knoebels is overall a really fun park. I'll definitely be getting back there this year a few more times. I went there on opening day. But yeah, it's a fun park. If you want to see me do a review of the entire park of Knoebels, I'll definitely do that probably at the end of the year, you know, because I want to get to their Halloween event, their Christmas event, and just see the park more, because I've only been there twice. But overall, I really enjoy Phoenix at Knoebels. It's a fun ride, one of my favorite rides, definitely in my top 5, I'd say, because it's a fun ride. Yeah, it is partly because of the park it's in, but overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for my final score for Phoenix at Knoebels, I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10. Almost perfect score. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you tomorrow on Rising Thrills.